We came here to smile and dance and help each other and hug and be in gratitude. And all that is coming from us, our thoughts. One of my mentors said, you are the thinker of your thoughts. So why would you think sad thoughts? Even though Stanford University shows that we think 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day and they are 80 to 90% are bad thoughts. No, that's that. Go the opposite way.
From the Weston A. Price Foundation, welcome to the Wise Traditions podcast for wise traditions in food, farming, and the healing arts. We are your source for scientific knowledge and traditional wisdom to help you achieve optimal health. And now here is our host and producer, Hilda Labrada Gore.
Hey, Hilda here. You may have heard phrases like, you are the placebo, or you are what you think. Today we explore how the power of the mind and our own mindset affects the healing process. This is episode 398, and our guest today is Dr. Navin Hettiarachchi. Navin has a PhD in natural medicine, and he has worked in the NBA with the Washington Wizards for 17 years. Today, he helps elite athletes worldwide, along with all kinds of people who are simply ready, as he puts it, to awaken the healer within. Navin today discusses his 4 pillars of abundant health: sleep, nutrition, mindfulness, and movement. He sees these as a bedrock foundation for well-being, and he especially focuses on how important mindset is for entering into a flow healing state. He tells a story, for example, of an athlete who was injured and couldn't even tie his shoe before a game, and how mindset helped him achieve unexpected results in that game. And he also speaks of people groups who are able to suspend their bodies with hooks in their backs and yet smile while doing so. Part of the secret for extraordinary health and overcoming challenges, apparently, is what Navin calls the every day is Christmas mindset. Before we dive into the conversation, I want to invite you to join hands with us. Become a member of the Weston A. Price Foundation before the end of the year. Or just give a gift of any size if you're already a member. We really are a member-supported nonprofit. Membership and donations help fund critical research, food and health activism, and education initiatives like this podcast. Just go to westonaprice.org and become a member today for only $30 a year using the code POD10. Members receive the quarterly print journal, our annual shopping guide, and a welcome package with our dietary guidelines and informational brochures. So join today, and if you're already a member, please give a gift of any size, and thank you in advance for your support. This is Holistic Hilda, and you're listening to Wise Traditions. Welcome to Wise Traditions, Navin.
Hi, Hilda. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
It is such a joy to see you, and I'm so glad my friend Thaddeus introduced us. I know you have worked with top-level athletes, NBA, WNBA, Olympians, and you have an approach that's beautiful. What do you bring to these high-performing people that other nutritionists, consultants, and doctors might not?
So, for example, say you have a knee pain, right? You go to a doctor, then you go to a physical therapist, then you got to go to a nutritionist, then you got to go to a chiropractor, then you got to go to an acupuncture. Think about one-stop shop. Think about Walmart. You go there, you could get your bananas, toilet paper, get your clothes, you could get your socks. I am that one-stop shop, right? So if somebody comes to me with knee pain, I'm going to look at their stool, their blood, their urine, their breathing. I'm going to treat them with needling, acupuncture, osteopathic techniques, manipulations. So it's one-stop shop. Not only that, like now with my PhD and my doctorate, I will look at their brain, because we learned that it's through the brain. So I'm able to look at the CT scans, the MRIs to see what in the brain caused you this, like what in the brain that's hanging that it's not letting your knee become a normal thing. Remember, everything's like a paper cut. When we get a paper cut, it heals. So the fact that you've been on pharmaceuticals for 10 years, or you're going to 5 different doctors, you're having 5 surgeries, it's going from a knee to the back to the chest to the heart attack, you're not whole. So my job is to come and connect the dot, figure out and see how you can be pain-free, how you can smile, dance, have Christmas every day. So that's what I do now.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. And I'm so glad you mentioned the mindset piece too, because someone might have pain in their knee, but it might not be a physical injury. It might be some kind of emotional or trauma-based situation. Is that right?
Yeah, it's really, mind is our most powerful thing. For example, this morning, you got up, you said you're going to brush your teeth. So put your attention in the bathroom, the body kind of followed. Then you said, oh, I want to have some coffee. All of a sudden, you are in front of the coffee machine, you have a cup of coffee, you're drinking. You don't even know. We are programmed already in our mind. For example, when you going back to the paper cut, when you get the cut, you already trust and surrender that it's going to heal. You don't even pay attention, it heals. But that cut is the same thing when your back hurts, but then we are thinking about it. We are like, oh, my doctor says it's going to take 8 weeks to heal. Is my doctor said I got to have surgery. Now you're giving the empowerment to somebody else. Just like the paper cut, if somebody said, oh, it's going to take 2 weeks to heal, it will heal in 2 weeks. It's what you believe in. It's the thoughts that you say to yourself. The body follows, just like it followed you to the bathroom, to the coffee cup. The body will follow to what you say. So if you're going to say, my back's going to get healed in 8 weeks, if you say 6 months, it will in 6 months. That's what I see in professional athletes. I got so many stories to share with you. Like, say, just a few weeks ago, one of the athletes, he had a grade 3 high ankle sprain. He was out, and the doctor said 6 to 8 weeks. In 10 days, he had a basketball game that he wanted to play. So he said, Navin, doctor says 6 to 8 weeks, but I want to play. I'm going to play. Help me. I'm like, all right, let's get it done. So he played in 10 days. Not only that, he set a record for most assists ever, right? Like, not only he played in a higher level. So what I'm trying to say is that when other people tell you, oh, you have stage 4 cancer, you're going to die, you have a disease, you're not getting healthy, we believe in that. But this athlete said, you know what, 6 to 8 weeks, according to my paper, doctors treating my paper, but I am a creator, I am magic. I'm going to play in 10 days. And not only he played, he made magic, he created magic. So those are the people that shows us that Hilda can do it, I can do it. Those are my role models. They're showing us that we can get healed now. What happened if this kid say, oh, I'm going to get healed in 7 days? You would have gotten healed in 7 days. Even he limited to 10 days because the game was in 10 days. So we have to tell ourselves a story of like, we don't need 5 months to, in fact, I've seen patients that they take a scan on Friday, stage 4 MRI cancer. On a weekend, they realize that, you know what, I'm incurable. If it's incurable means I have to go within to heal. They take the ownership of their health because everybody else giving up on them. They had cancer for all these years. In fact, on that weekend, something happened to them that they believe in themselves so much. They go to the doctor and like, doc, you got to take an MRI again on my breast. Doctor's like, why? I healed myself. Doctor's like, what do you mean? We just like, no. So they would go and pay from their pocket to another imaging because their doctor's like, no, you need to go home and sleep. You didn't get sleep. And now all of a sudden that breast cancer is no longer there on film. 48 hours later, how is that possible? When the patient, like I see that day after day after, and those are my heroes that they're able to believe and create the health. Think about it. It's the breast cancer. That's a cancerous cell, but you're able to heal within whatever, over a weekend, over 7 days. And it's just amazing.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, Navin, you collaborate and work with people, but you also help them tap into their own ability to heal.
Yes, so Hilda, like, we are the healer within us. Just going back to the paper cut, I think that's the easiest. All of us got a paper cut. All of us got a scratch. Actually, I want to share a quick story. During my doctor work, I remember seeing a study. It says a mom's kiss for a baby is bigger than any pharmaceuticals. That was one of my aha moments that I'm like, oh, when mom kissed you, the baby, everything healed. They forgot about crying.
So it's like when we would kiss our kids and we would say, okay, it's all better now. We weren't kidding. It really was all better.
It's all really better, right? It's not kidding and evidence-based. So we can create whatever we want. All the medicine we know through brain scan, MRIs, that we can create whatever in our brain. We could create ayahuasca, we could create LSD, we could create crack cocaine, we could create pain relievers through our brain. We know that. So that means we are the biggest pharmacy. That means we can heal within us.
Navin, why are so few of us tapping into that? Why don't we understand that? Why are we living with so much disease?
Disease, because we are not at ease. So the disease coming from. So we don't know. Nobody really talks, right? Nobody, like I was in the NBA until like 3 years ago. I didn't know about it. Even though I had stories like when I was with the Washington Redskins, like literally my first day, I remember the story. That's a machine called ultrasound, and it's a heat wave. That's really not like lights come on or nothing. It's heat. You put a gel and you use it. You turn on the machine and time. Literally, this is like the first week. And I used it on this player, I still remember. And afterwards, I wiped the leg and he walks out like, oh, Navin, it feels good. I'm warm. I'm ready to go to practice. And I realized I never turned the machine on.
Oh.
I'm like, what is this? So that was a moment. So this was 2001, 20 years ago. That was a moment that I realized there's something in it. Same as with Washington Wizards. I remember my coworker and this player gonna laugh. We ran out of caffeine pill. This player would take caffeine, 6 milligrams. That's almost like 6 cups of coffee before the game. Every game, I leave it in his locker. So I ran out of it, okay? So I just put like vitamin C pills, they're same size. And I remember him asking, it's like, hey, you put the pills? I'm like, yeah, why are you asking? He's like, no, just asking. So he knew it might not be, but he didn't know, he took it. And I'm like, I remember asking him in the middle of the game, like, how you doing? You good? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good. I'm juiced up. I'm good to go. And this kid had an amazing game. At the end of it, I'm like, wow, there's no caffeine. This guy played. So we are the placebo. We can create any medication with our thoughts, right? But when we go to a doctor or whatever, they give us a prescription, they don't really tell us. Our ancestors knew this. This is nothing new. Our ancestors did dental work, right? They hypnotized us, dental work. They did brain surgeries in 1800s. The medicine really came after that. Anesthesia came like mid-1900s. Before that, they did brain surgeries. We know that in India, they did dental work. How did they do that? How did they? In fact, World War II, there's great studies that they ran out of anesthesia and they were like putting saline into these soldiers and they were taking bullets out and nothing was going wrong. It's the believer. It's the believer. We believe in outside, but we know that at the same time, when we put a chemical in our body, the chemical has a side effect. Even for sickness, flu, or asthma. Like I had a kid this weekend and he was taking asthma medication every single day, even though he didn't have it, because he believed in the dad and the doctors. And remember, a side effect of asthma inhaler is difficulty on breathing. Now he's taking the not inhaler, the medicine, difficulty of breathing. Now he has a difficulty of breathing. He's taking more medicine. So now he's in the cycle. So we don't get taught in this school because patients want a piece of paper. They want something to take. Healing within us is not known. Even though all our ancestors did it, it's gotten forgotten.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about your childhood, Navin. Where were you raised, and were you introduced to any of these concepts about healing as you were growing up?
So I was raised in Sri Lanka, beautiful Sri Lanka. When I was 14 years old, I came here in high school. And in Sri Lanka, there's a lot of quote-unquote boo-boo. Like I was talking to my dad yesterday. So I'm Buddhist. That's the area that I grew. There's Hindus. So Hilda, they would say, God, thank you for getting me this new job. In order to thank you, I'm going to put a hook in my back, in my skin, and I'm going to hang myself, and I'm going to stay like this for whatever, 2 days, 1 day, 3 hours. And because I'm believing the God, the higher power, I don't have any pain. I'm not going to bleed. I'm not going to feel it. So I remember seeing those.
Literally, these men were hanging from hooks in their skin as a kind of act of gratitude. And they weren't bleeding and they weren't feeling pain.
No, because God got me the kid, God or higher power source, whoever got me whatever they asked for, the baby, the job, the car, the house. It wasn't painful, so I'm going to give something back. I'm going to do something. And so if you Google, I don't know how to even Google people hanging on hooks in India, you'll see 7 people on in a caravan, like a circle thing, and they're just going. So I saw that when I was...
You knew what was possible.
I knew what was possible, and I knew that we were able to overcome and heal, and I saw all these things when I was little, but it didn't mean anything to me until I came here and went on this journey. So I know that our mind is so bigger than what we can do physically.
This is amazing. But I do want to go back to the physical because I've looked at your website. Of course, you and I have talked before, and you talked about how there's 10% of our health or our life that we can address that will help alleviate the issues with the other 90. Can you talk to us about what like the four pillars are of foundational good health?
I think it's about what can we do. We could sleep. Quality of sleep, we know it's healing. We know people are worried about Alzheimer's, dementia, but that's brain healing. So we gotta sleep. Then we know that the blue zones in the world, they walk, they move. It's not exercising. They were crawling, rolling, walking. So we know the movement, right? Our ancestors did the movement. The Maasai people, they do the movement. So sleep, movement, nutrition. It's not about like being on a certain diet. Eat what you had. Like when we spend time with Maasai, they eat nose to tail, they eat meat, right? Then when you go to maybe Hadza, they might eat some fruit or honey, wherever they are. Like you're about to go to Mongolia, you're going to see them eating different. When you go to Sri Lanka, we have like thousands of plants. Like when you go to Whole Foods or Safeway or Giant, you're going to see like 10 different vegetables. In Sri Lanka, there's thousands. Yes, so many. Like my dad would make so many. So nutrition, eat what's available, eat local, eat natural, eat from the garden, pick it. So we got sleep, it's under control of us. Movement, we control it. We don't need any money. Sleep, we don't need any money. And nutrition is what's available, right? Make it that's available to you. If you're eating something from a package or a container, it's made in a factory and you're not a factory. You're a human being. You need a sun, water, ground. So eat stuff that's living, that need a sun, water, ground. So that's 3. And my favorite and my biggest, as I get older, I just realized this in my life more and more. Mindfulness. Be present. That is everything. When you have those 4, so the reason that I said mindfulness, present, the last, I think that's the most important. When you are here, when you are now, whatever you eat, it digests. Then you can sleep better because you're not thinking. You don't have your monkey mind. Then you want to eat, run around because you got so much energy. You want to dance, sing, run around. So it's really start from mind and being present. When you have that, everything falls down below the pipeline, down below the river. It's perfect. It's clean. So thoughts, mindfulness starts from thoughts. I want to share a quick story with you. So the other day I was in a store and I always make a point to like talk to people in front of me because the cashier is me, right? They're having a tough day. So this guy's literally looking down and going to say, so I remember, I think his name was Steve. I'm like, good morning, Steve. How are you? He's like, fine. I was like, what's wrong, my guy? What you doing? He's like, I'm trying to get to your level. I'm like, what do you mean my level? Like all I said is good morning. He doesn't know me. He didn't see me. So it's the words, it's the energy. So I knew that. I was like, Steve, my level is just made up story. I tell a story myself. Life is Christmas. When I say it, my body become Christmas. I feel Christmas. Right now I'm just rubbing on you. And he still has his head down. And I said, thank you, my guy. Have a great day. I go. Then he was like the last cashier by the door. He turned around and said, hey, thank you. He got it. That moment, he had Christmas.
Oh.
Think about that. It's thoughts.
This is Hilda Labrada Gore, and you're listening to Wise Traditions. Coming up, Navin shares how most of our thoughts on any given day are negative. And he gives tips for pulling out of that headspace and into a healthier place.
You're listening to the Wise Traditions podcast from the Weston A. Price Foundation. We pause now to recognize our sponsors.
Paleo Valley. I love this company for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is that their beef sticks are grass-fed and grass-finished, and the beef is from small American farms. Plus, they use old-world fermentation techniques, which makes them gut-friendly with their naturally occurring probiotics. I just placed an order for our family. I love to have these on hand as stocking stuffers and for whenever we're on the go and need a protein-packed punch. Go to paleovalley.com and order yours today and use the code WISE for 15% off at checkout. paleovalley.com and the code word WISE. And Optimal Carnivore. They have their grass-fed organ complex that contains 9 organs, a grass-fed liver product, and the new Brain Nourish. Brain Nourish contains grass-fed beef brain and lion's mane mushrooms to help provide supreme focus, elevated mood, improved memory, greater clarity, and enhanced creativity. They only use 100% real mushrooms, organic fruiting bodies which are rigorously tested for active compounds. And the beef brain is sourced from the highest quality regenerative farms in New Zealand. The mission over at Optimal Carnivore is to make it easy for people to consume the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. And they also plant 1 tree for every product sold, which helps the environment. So go to amazon.com/optimalcarnivore and use the code WESTON10 to get 10% off everything you order. Again, that's Amazon.com/optimalcarnivore and the code Weston10. This is Hilda Labrada Gore, and you're listening to Wise Traditions. And as you're speaking, I can't help but think children also are very good at mindfulness. When they're playing in the dirt or running around with their friends, they're not thinking what they're going to eat for dinner. They're not worried about the timing on the homework. They're just in the moment. So there's a lesson to be learned there too, right?
In the moment, that's the flow state. That's when I see the basketball players, when they shoot, when they're in the moment, the basket look like a sea. It's like throwing a rock. They are so in the moment. They don't know the clock. They don't know the time. They don't know the coach. They don't know anybody else's ball. They don't even see anybody in front of them. They feel like it's just them having fun, singing, dancing, smiling. So then they don't have any pain when you're in the flow state. The Christmas day, most of your pain is gone. Like one of the things that when a mom's about to give birth to a kid, the mom doesn't have any diseases. All the diseases are gone because they're in so much of joy. They're living for somebody else, but they're living for them. They're healed. They're whole. So when we are in that state of flow, which you said like a kid, it's Christmas every day. This kid will, like Zanzibar, Tanzania, all these countries, like the kids are playing with dirt, but in their mind, they're living in a palace. So it's Christmas every day. And this joy of abundance we create, like we came here to smile and dance and help each other and hug and being in gratitude. And all that is coming from us, our thoughts. One of my mentors said, you are the thinker of your thoughts. So why would you think sad thoughts? Even though Stanford University shows that we think 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day and they are 80 to 90% are bad thoughts. No, that's that. Go the opposite way.
Wait, 80 to 90% are bad thoughts. And we think 50 to 60,000 a day.
Yes. So we are thinking about plan B. Oh, I'm going on a flight tomorrow. What if I miss it? What if I don't pack it? So it's what if plan B, C, D. If you say, if I don't pack anything, it's going to be great. If I pack it, it's great. My flight's going to be on time. If I don't make it on time, I'm going to meet somebody and it's going to be great. Like they're going to bump me to first class where I'm going to have a shower on the flight. That's now exciting. It's the game. What am I going to get Christmas? Like that's the feeling that you want to have. This guy's name is Jim Ford, and he said, think thoughts that is going to serve you. And he woke me up by saying that.
So have you seen this kind of mindset shift, this mindfulness, help some people in pain also to realize their power within?
Absolutely, Hilda. So now in my journey, I go from working for a team, being in the team, now I'm my own person, but at the same time, I only take patients that call incurable. They had cancer 3 times. They got pancreatic cancer or liver cancer. They had 4 total knee surgeries. They're athlete that doctor says it's going to take 6 months to heal. Quote unquote incurable. That's a time. So I take these patients and we figure out, we know that mind is the most powerful thing because we know that when you go to conventional medicine, you are given a label. You have this disease, your ICD code is 95132, you have this autoimmune, you have this gene, you're meant to be sick, right? So I go there and we literally take the kitchen table. I work with patients one-on-one, only in their house. We lay everything out and we connect the dot. Is this a childhood thing? Is this something somebody else's disease? Did you get this disease by thinking your mom had this disease and you're meant to get it, right? So you created the disease. Just like we can heal our thoughts, we can create the disease because I'm like, oh, my mom got it when she was this age. I'm going to get it. Now you're manifesting that disease. You're creating that fear. Either you're in love, surrender Christmas every day, or you're fear. Either you're pregnant or you're not pregnant. There's no gray. You're one or the other. I'm a GPS. I guide these patients to figure out like, oh, they are in fear and that's why they got sick. That's why they have a disease because they're not at ease. So I'm like, hey, that's a stop sign. That's a cop. Turn left. Maybe we got to turn back and go through this round. You'll get fast, even though it's a longer round, you get there faster without any problem and it's going to be the most abundance. I'm not the healer. They're the healer. I am here to heal, awakening the healing response within you.
Oh, I love it so much. I'm thinking right now about a listener who may be saying, fine for you to say this, Navin, but my circumstances are extremely difficult. Either I've been sick for years or my family has turned their back on me. And so they are either programming or by choice feeling really under the weather, under the circumstances. how can they start to implement some of this mindfulness, this kind of Christmas attitude in their own lives?
I love that question. When you start asking the question, the first thing that you said is a story. Oh, my life, my wife, my dog, they laid me off. It's a story. It's not your story. I want to shake people and say, look, it's not your story. It's a story yesterday. It's a story tomorrow. At this moment, the fact that you can hear this podcast, that means you got electricity, you got Wi-Fi, you got a computer, or you got a phone. Come on now. Isn't that a Christmas? So this second, you are being present, you are healed. And now, can you make that healing moment to a next second? 10:01, 10:02, 10:03. And all of a sudden, you're not worrying about this old story 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Like my dad had an old story when he was like little. Like my dad is 75 years old. I'm like, Dad, this happened when you were 10 years old. So you're carrying a piano on your back for 65 years. And those people are not even living. Those people are struggling. You're in America. You're in abundance. So we get to carry this big piano, big 50-pound bag of rice in our back for no reason. When we let it go, we surrender. One of my patients, I hope he get to listen to this story. Thank you so much for sharing this story. We're talking and talking. One day he messaged me and said, Navin, thank you. I just realized I've been holding on to 3 knives you showed me. He's like, Navin, I'm bleeding. I want to go to this doctor. I want this doctor. I got this cancer, this cancer. He got 3 different cancers. Guess what happened? When you let the knife go, you don't bleed anymore. You heal. Some people, Hilda, they just want to hold on to the knife. They see the bleeding. They don't know. But that's their journey, right? All of us got a journey. My shaman, Don Javier, he told me, like, it's ego. If I keep on going, say, hey, let the knife go, let the knife go. No, that's their journey. Just make them aware they're holding on to a knife and that's why they're bleeding. And they have a choice. All of us got a choice. It's the free will. And when my patients let the knife go, they heal like that moment.
That is so beautiful. I often will say, if a weird thought passes through my head, like, oh no, what if I were to veer off this bridge or something? I tell myself, I literally say, that's not my story. That's not my story. Because sometimes I feel like, this might sound weird, but we're already going, some spirits are trying to get me off track. Or maybe it's just my own programming, trying to think of a bad scenario, but I'm like, that's not my story. And I love that because it's empowering. And you're right. It reminds me, I have a choice what I'm going to focus on right now. And I can either live in fear that I'm going to fly off a bridge, or I can be like, hey, look at me. I'm so high above the water. And soon I'll be on the other side visiting my friend for dinner.
Absolutely. It's a story. Like I could say, like, oh man, it's raining. Why can't I go outside and dance in the rain? Or it could say, you know what, it's raining. It's a perfect day for me to do my books. Or I could say, oh my God, you know what? I'm so grateful that it's raining because in California, it's been months they didn't have rain. So it's a story that, let's tell us a story that helps us. Not only we heal, when we heal, we get to give. We are so full that we get to give it to others. One of my patient population that I work with is the medical community. And I see that they are not full because the people that come into their life is hurting. So it's like going down on like darkness. It's raining every day. So it's very hard for them to give if they're not full. But so I share and guide and show, make awareness to these medical doctors and nurse practitioners and pharmacists that it's the story that I tell. So when they become full, their cup is full. They're able to give it to the patients like everything. Take this, take my car, take my house, take whatever. I have everything. I have everything within me. We have everything that we need within us.
Before we started rolling today, you told me the story of a young man, I think he was also a basketball player, who was in such pain. He was like, couldn't even sit on a plane. He had to lay down in the aisle, and the same thing on the bus. He had to stand near the bus driver because he couldn't even, but he was heading to a game, and yet he still played in the game. Talk to us a little bit about the process he went through to embrace a new story in that moment.
This is an incredible story. Like, so working in the professional athletes, I see what the mind could overcome. Like, say, like even with the Washington Redskins, I saw that, say they have to play this game. And if they don't play this game, they're going to leave so much money on the table. That means they can buy the car and the house that they promised their mom. Hilda, I seen people with like torn ligaments playing. It was just crazy. So this is in 2000, right? So maybe like the team let people play or whatever. So I saw that 22 years ago, that what a human body could do. Like, think about it. They don't have a ligament and they're just a truck going and hitting another truck. This is not like running around the block. This is football, American football. You're getting hit, you're getting twisted, you're getting pulled, you're getting turned. But they're like, nothing happened. Like, nothing happened. It's the mind. So imagine like this table. Imagine one of the leg is broken. You're putting hundreds and hundreds of pounds on the top. And the table is not breaking. How's that possible? I don't even know how's that possible. Like, I have no idea. How's that even possible? So to tell you this story, it's one of my favorite stories. So this guy with Washington Wizards, this guy was an incredible athlete, incredible player, but this was his last leg, like literally last leg. We signed him, and if he doesn't play this year, he's literally washed out. He's done. He got to retire. Called incurable, like nothing that anybody could give him. He got to figure out a way. So when he comes, like he's so excited. I'm excited. He literally back goes out. Be looking at images. He got a bulging disc, herniated disc, like everything in the textbook is there. Okay, this kid is like dying. So I remember we're going to Houston to play Houston Rockets. This kid can't even sit on the flight. Like, so he was laying down in our private jet on the floor, our team charter, because sitting down is hurting. So he's laying down. Then I remember going to, after the shoot on, he can't even get on the bus to go to the hotel. So he was walking with me. We walked from the hotel, I think this is hotel to arena to the hotel. And during the game time, he can't take the bus. He can't sit. So he was sitting by the bus driver, tall guy, pin. And this is the funniest thing. He was in so much pain. I remember at Verizon Center at a home game, he couldn't tie his own shoelaces. So even a 5-year-old could tie his shoelaces. So now I'm trying to show you to the listeners, like, that's how much of a pain is. But I remember the day that he couldn't tie his shoelaces at Verizon Center, he had like 20 points and 10 rebounds. So he was playing at the highest level of basketball, running, jumping, dunking. So even though MRI, your doctor say, oh, you got to have surgeries, you got a hernia, you shouldn't do this. But we can do everything. I tell patients like, oh yeah, doctors like, Mrs. Jones, you shouldn't run, you should bed rest. No. The medical community told him to bed rest and have the surgery now. But his life circumference would, like, he knew if he did that, he was done. He's out of business.
So it was the power of his mindset. Like, I'm going to play this game no matter what. I can't tie my shoe. I have to lay down on the plane, but I'm going to play this game. That was that spirit of determination that maybe helped him see it through.
Yes, he didn't know any better. Like I did, so when I was learning hypnosis from one of my PhD courses, so I went to our Washington Wizards team doctor and I was like, Doc, I cracked one of the tooth. I was like, Doc, we got to take this tooth out. And he's like, cool, like I got to do like 4 injections, take it out. I'm like, Doc, actually, you know what? I've been practicing self-hypnosis. I've been practicing hypnosis. I want to try. It's like, no, this is not time to play around. Because this is a surgery, like we got to take it out, I got to inject it. And I was like, no, I really want to try it. In fact, I want to record it. So we go back and forth. This doctor's amazing. And he's like, I'm going to go out. I'm going to give you a minute to like think about this. Like, you're acting crazy. So it's like, I'm going to go out to me, let you think about it. So he gave me some time and I'm like, I'm not even thinking anything. I'm getting my phone ready. Like, I know I'm going to try it. Do it. And he's like, Navin, just raise your hand if it's painful. And I video recorded and in the video and you could see them like going with a scissor and yanking. And I didn't feel I'm talking about Hilda. I didn't feel any pain. I didn't even know if I was there.
Oh my God.
You know? And I was like, wow, I did it. I did it. Like, we need to try these. Like, we can do it.
I love that we've spent so much time talking about mindset and mindfulness and the power of the mind and the emotions to help us heal. But I want to ask you, because we have to start wrapping up actually, Navin, because you've worked with all these athletes and because you're in such good shape yourself, what movement do you recommend over and over? Do you find yourself recommending over and over to different clients or patients?
I love this. So 5 years ago, I would have probably said, oh, if somebody's in a jail, they should do the Turkish get up. You get stronger, they could do drills. At this moment today, it's actually, can you breathe? Can you exhale? Game over. Done. What? I'm healed. That's it. That's my exercise. Can you exhale? Can you breathe everything out? Because right now, people, they can't exhale. So when you can't exhale, you can't run, you can't jump. You are not on/off. You're constantly on. That means you can't sleep. That means you can't digest. That means you're in pain. You are
in disease.
In disease, right? You're not present. So my favorite exercise, exhale and smile. That's the best exercise. When you exhale and smile, you all of a sudden create dopamine, serotonin in your brain, Oh, that's happy pill. You want to run around. You want to hug. You want to sing. You want to dance. We are the creator of all the medicine.
We're back to Christmas.
Back to Christmas. When it's Christmas, you want to run around. You are giving yourself a present every moment. So Hilda, thank you for asking that question. Exhale, relax, be present. It's true. When the Buddha and all these monks and Jesus, all these religious leaders talked to us billions, thousands, hundreds of years ago, they knew what they were talking about. Hippocrates, they knew what they were talking about. They said, surrender, be here, exhale. When we exhale, we love one another. We see one another. I see the beauty on you. All of a sudden, the reason that I'm saying is your teeth are so white. All of a sudden, our gut microbiomes are so clean. There's no tar in our teeth because we are whole. Now we could digest the pizza or the liver or the bone marrow. We can digest them easy because we are whole. We are not fighting our own system. Our hormones are harmonized. Now we're creating testosterone hormones. Now we could give birth to kids. We could give milk to our babies. Right now we know that society, people are struggling to give birth or give milk or disease. When we smile, when we are present, everything is perfect. It's Christmas. Thank you so much, Hilda. If you are listening to this, you are ready for this. If you are hearing this, you are understanding this. You don't even have to share with this anybody. It's this message for you. The time is right. It's not yesterday. It's not tomorrow. Actually, we were supposed to do this last year, October 20th. We didn't do it. This would not have been this authentic. I would not have gone on my own journey to see my own heroes of my own patients smiling and exhaling and heal themselves. So the fact that you're hearing this is ready for you. Go within you to cure. We have everything within us. And thank you so much, Hilda. I'm so grateful for me to share this because you're my teacher. I'm your teacher. We're here to serve each other, help each other evolve and grow and go on our journey. Christmas journey. Look around, see, smile and enjoy. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, it's been a pleasure. If you guys could see how Navin is beaming, he is just a beautiful soul, and I'm so thankful too. And I want to pose to you the question I often pose at the end of the show. You may have already answered it in a way, but I often try to offer people something very practical they can do at the end. It may just be exhaling, but if there's one thing the listener could do to improve their health, what would you recommend that they do, Navin?
Tell this to America's best medical doctors. Feel your big toe. Feel your little toe. What? You just meditated for 2 seconds. You were present. Now can we exhale? Isn't that amazing? You meditate for 2 seconds and you just reset your computer. You press Control-Alt-Delete. Now you're living, my friend. Your computer is on. It's perfect. It's working. You're good to go. So can we cultivate this every minute, on the minute, when we're driving, when we're on the train, when we're on the bus, when we're on the Thanksgiving table, when we are stressed? Feel your big toe. Feel your little toe. Oh, it's there. Exhale. I'm good to go.
Yeah. I am good to go, Navin. Thank you for these words of encouragement. You have been a blessing today.
Thank you, Hilda. You're amazing. You're loving, kind, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Our guest today was Navin Hettiarachchi. Check out his website, navinhealth.com. That's Navin health.com. And I'm Hilda Labrador, the host and producer of this podcast for the Weston A. Price Foundation. You can find me on Instagram at Holistic Hilda and on my Holistic Hilda YouTube channel. And for the transcript for this episode, visit our website, westonaprice.org, and click on the podcast page. And now for a letter to the editor from a recent journal. This letter is entitled Gratitude for the Chapter System. I want to thank the Foundation for establishing the chapter leader system and thank the individual people who have given their time to become chapter leaders. My gratitude for your work grew recently when I was visiting family, a newborn and her parents, in Florida, and I knew chapter leaders would help with finding local foods, but never thought about the value of finding a local doctor. During my visit, I learned that the precious 2-month-old was going the next day for her shots. Her parents were feeling pressured and did not know how to avoid this. In a bit of a panic, I contacted chapter leader Mandy Bloom. She quickly got back to me with the name of a practice where the doctors do not pressure but leave decisions to the parents. Within a couple of hours of my request to Mandy, the parents had canceled the appointment for the next day and had a new appointment scheduled at the recommended office where toxic shots are not suggested as a way to keep your little one healthy. I will be forever grateful for the timing of the visit and for Mandy's help. Chapter leaders will never know the rippling effect of their efforts. Thank you, chapter leaders. The letter is from Kathy in Maryland. Kathy, thank you for your letter. Thank you for telling us how you felt and how you managed that situation. The chapter leader system is phenomenal. All you have to do to contact your local chapter leader is go to our website, westonaprice.org, click on the Find Food and Local Chapters, and you can see the listing of local chapter leaders in the U.S., but also all around the world. I hope this encourages you to contact them to find real food and possibly practitioners where you live. And thank you so much for listening. Stay well, my friend, all season long. Hasta pronto.
On behalf of the Weston A. Price Foundation, thanks for listening. We have many free resources to support you on your health journey. Visit westonaprice.org to find podcasts, articles, videos, and more. You can also find a local chapter near you for help in finding sources of great food. We invite you to support the Foundation's mission of education, research, and activism by becoming a member. Thanks again, and take care. Wise Traditions is a project of the Weston A. Price Foundation for wise traditions in food, farming, and the healing arts. The content on this podcast is provided for informational purposes only and is not intended to substitute for the advice provided by your doctor or other healthcare professional. It is not intended to be, nor does it constitute healthcare or medical advice.